Hey guys, welcome back. So today I want to talk to you about muzzle devices for the AK-47 or AKM series of rifles. On this pre-band Polytech, I have a slant cut muzzle brake. This is a pretty common muzzle device for a lot of the AKs that came in the country, especially the pre-band rifles. You'll still see on some of the other rifles that are coming in the country nowadays. Rifles like the Wasser 10 will probably just have a tack welded on muzzle nut, which has no muzzle brake whatsoever. But anyway, the slant cut's pretty common. Now the slant cut is almost too effective, and it's kind of the signature of a poorly designed muzzle brake in my mind. This muzzle brake will actually push the rifle down past its starting point. So the AK kind of looks like it's teeter-tottering when it's being fired, especially you can see this when it's being fired on full auto. But as the AKs become more and more popular on the US market, we're starting to see more devices, muzzle devices and other accessories coming to market for the AK series of rifles that are improving in quality. Back in the days, the 1980s and early 1990s, you could buy a muzzle device like this for 10 bucks at a gun show, and that's about all that was available. But because the rifles are becoming more popular, we're seeing some high-end new products coming to market for it, and people are spending some serious R&D money in developing these products. So anyway, I want to show you one of those new products that's being produced by Venom Tactical. It's called the Antidote, and it's being manufactured, and it was designed for Jim Fuller over at Rifle Dynamics. Now, Jim is probably one of the top AK gunsmiths in the country right now. And again, this was designed for him, and he has his name attached to this little device. But you can pick it up on the Venom Tactical website. Again, it's called the Antidote. And that's what we take a look at this afternoon. We want to see just how effective this new muzzle device is because it carries a pretty stiff price tag. Let's get started. The Venom Tactical Antidote muzzle brake screws onto the end of your muzzle. Now, you want to make sure that your rifle is empty before you start this process. It does use a standard 14mm left-hand thread, so everything's kind of backwards when you go to thread something onto your rifle. There is a detent right here that you want to push down. I use the tip of my finger. You can also use the base or tip of a bullet to do that if you're having a hard time. Take your factory muzzle nut off. If you have a Wasser 10, you're going to have to cut that tack weld on the bottom, and then you can do this. And then just take the Antidote and start it onto the threads. It's a really simple process. Now, it only has one locking recess cut into the muzzle device itself, so it properly lines. Now, once you get it on there, it's not going to sit flush all the way against the base of the front sight, so there may be a little bit of play in it, and that's normal. You're not going to get any bullet strikes on the muzzle device. So that's what it looks like on the rifle. Let's do a little bit of shooting with it and see how it performs. Well, that thing works very, very well. It does seem to keep that muzzle rock solid. As I'm looking over the sights, I can still see the sight picture on the target as I'm firing. Now, another thing I've noticed as I'm seeing a fairly pronounced fireball coming out of the muzzle device, which is fairly common. Now, what's really cool about this device, if you take a close look at it, it's chambered, meaning there's a couple of different chambers inside the device itself. The end is sealed. You can see that. Here's the exit hole for the bullet. But inside you'll see, let's see if you can see it in there, probably not, but there's a tube inside of the muzzle brake. That tube inside has slots cut into it. Gases are allowed to escape. They can circulate around inside this baffle system, and then the gases are released on both sides. You can see how it's cut on both sides, and they have a slight rearward cut, so it's pulling the rifle away from the shooter's shoulder. And because they're cut onto the top and not on the bottom, it's also pushing the rifle barrel down. It seems to be a very, very effective brake. Now, you also notice here on the end that the rifle also has, or the device has, kind of some jagged teeth, some dragon's teeth on the end. So you could use this, you know, if you had to, as a weapon as well. You could poke somebody in the face or the chest with that thing, and it's going to do some damage. You could break glass with it, things like that. So what it looks like on the rifle, you can see it there. It weighs right around 3 ounces, a little over 3 ounces, but it doesn't seem to change the balance of the rifle all that much. Again, it installs real easy, and it seems to work really, really well. All right, guys, it's time for some final thoughts on the Venom Tactical Antidote muzzle brake, manufactured for Jim Fuller over at Rifle Dynamics. This muzzle brake comes to market at $195. Now, I know what you guys are going to say. Holy cow, that's expensive. I'm never going to pay $200 for a muzzle brake for my AK rifle. That's half the price of the rifle. Value is something that you measure based upon how you look at things. And if you take a look at the AK and you buy the AK because it's the absolute most affordable rifle on the market, then yes, this thing is not going to appeal to you. AR owners, FAL owners, things like that, when it comes to a $200 muzzle device or sight base or whatever, they're not going to balk as bad at the price tag. But the AK buyer seems to be more aware of price, because a lot of you guys wind up with AKs not because it's your preferred rifle, but because it's the only one that you can afford. It's all you want to spend on a rifle. If that's the case, this device isn't going to appeal to you. Now, if the AK is your Shiznit hits the fan rifle, it's your preferred rifle, and you didn't just get into it because of cost, and you want the absolute best muzzle devices or accessories, period, for your rifle that you can find, this thing may just appeal to you. It does appeal to me. Now, the thing is very similar in size to the Battle Comp. Now, I've tested a lot of different muzzle devices on AKs over the years, and I do like the Battle Comp. It's a good comp, and this thing is about the same size, again, just a little over 3 ounces in weight. But I think this one definitely looks better. Now, when it comes down to performance, well, let me tell you a little bit about the background of the performance of this particular device. When Venom Tactical was designing it, they came up with an application that could actually measure the recoil of a rifle, and then they collected a year's worth of data using different muzzle devices for the AK before they designed this particular muzzle device. And in their testing, so they say on their website, this is the most effective muzzle brake you can buy for 7.62 by 39 AK. Now, can I say that it's head and shoulders better than a Battle Comp or something like that, or something from Manticore Arms? I can't say that it's definitely head and shoulders better, but what I can say is it's very, very effective. This thing feels just as good as any of the other muzzle devices I've ever fired, and may just be the best. So, if you're looking to buy the absolute best, I would seriously consider this particular muzzle device, again, from Venom Tactical. If you guys have any questions about this muzzle device, you can always ask those questions on our Facebook page. You can find us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/militaryarms, and you can also find us on Twitter. If you like this video, please be sure to like and share it, and also I invite you to come by and check out the Bang Switch, which is the new Military Arms Channel blog. Come by, check it out. I'll put a link in the description below. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll talk to you guys soon.